welcome to Prospect Park.
You want to use the microphone?
No, thank you. Okay. Thank you so much for participating in our commemorative giving program. The money we raise through this program goes to support the general operating support of Prospect Park Alliance, and we steward Prospect Park in partnership with the Parks Department in New York City. And this goes to care for general operating and maintenance of the park, and our education programming and volunteer programming. So everything we do, this helps. And also this program is one of the few ways that we actually are able to plant landscape trees in the park. So it's really important to us, and we really, really appreciate your help. And I'm going to turn it over to Mike now, who's going to tell you a little bit more about the tree itself.
Hi, I'm Mike. I'm the forester for Prospect Park Alliance. I just want to say again, thank you. We really, this is how we plant trees in the park, so this is very important to us. I'll talk a little about the location first. Part of what we do when planting these trees is consider all the aspects, the aesthetic, the landscape design, the ecological, and what we've been trying to do more and more is kind of bring all those together. And with that, planting a lot more native species is what we do. So we're planting a white pine today, which is great for all sorts of reasons, not the least of which is non-migratory birds. So birds that nest here over winter really rely on pines to kind of get a little weather buffer, and they also work better when they're clustered together. So we have, this big one, and we have a few over here, but when they're grouped together, it's just a lot more beneficial for the birds nesting. And also just aesthetically, having a lot of the pines at the entrance kind of is a nicer look. A lot of our core woodlands is not conifer based, so this is one of the few places where we can actually plant a lot of pines. And also the original design of the park, this perimeter along the street, since the founding of the park in the 1860s, is meant to have a solid overstory border to kind of create a separation from the city life into park life, and so it creates an oral division as well as visual and just kind of a spiritual separation. White pines grow really fast. They can grow up to like 2 feet a year, and they can max out around 80 feet. And they could live upwards of over 200 years. And it'll also be stronger together. They'll create a wind block. In addition to the birds being grouped together, they create a wind block for each other, so they're less prone to getting destroyed by the wind. So I think, should we go ahead and plant the tree?
Yeah, let's plant the tree.
Cool. So I have 2 shovels, so if everybody wants to participate, maybe just take a couple scoops and pass the shovel along to the next person. And then me and Matthias will finish it up, and we'll put the fence up, which will stay up for about 2 years while we water it and establish it. And then we'll let you guys, you can hang out here for as long as you like.
Thank you.
Cool. So the only thing to note is just throw it in the empty space. Obviously, don't throw it on the root ball or on the trunk itself. Just anywhere in the space around.
Okay. Want to go first? We can. I don't need to go first. Okay, I'll go first.
I definitely do.
Ready?
There's 2 shovels in there that you want to do.
Yeah.
2 at a time.
I like watching and 80 feet tall. Good work.
I heard that we're treating evergreen. That's so perfect.
Yeah, it's so nice.
lodging. Yeah. Let me see, can I get it? No. Okay, I was right. I was down. Creating that barrier. It's like yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's down there. It's amazing.
Yeah.
My son just plays singers.
You can tell. I love that. I was saying to my brother, like, I love this, what they said about it, kind of creating like a barrier between city life and park life. It's like habitat for birds for 200 years. I know. Like, just remembering like when we were in Metropolis, just like so it's such a good way with artists and people to be so sensitive. Like my son, like an adventure shoot. And I give him paper flowers, and everyone would have cried. Oh, and you brought a flower. So I brought that. That's beautiful. And then when he got sick that next year, I made him one too. I brought a picture. That's cool. Oh, that's beautiful. I know, I was like, I should sell this. Guess I'm an artist. I loved your song, the Trekkie song. Like, oh yeah, that's so silly. You sound so good. I love that. I was proud of that one. Yeah, you should.
Well, you know, when it's a text from dad, it usually goes into the making. Is that the working theory? Moms get answers pretty quick. I'm not necessarily talking about it. We'll take one. We'll take one.
I was like, I love how they said it's like, I said it like 3 times, but it's like a barrier between like urban life and nature. Like it helps the birds. Awesome.
That's a real kid. It's not fun.
I know, I'm so excited. And it has all these little friends here, and its grandpa's over there. Compared to what it means. First, like, I'm like, oh my god, and I had to put that like that, and I was like, no, like a follower. She's like, yeah, all the Philippines are being used for other stuff.
How did you get to it? Was it on wheels?
I took a cab and like just carried it, but yeah.
That's what I
It's
said
like a
too.
little Thomas the Tank Engine.
Almost as tall as the church.
It's huge. Like I was like, okay. And then he's like trying to give me more tight stuff. I'm like, no. Please stop. You could get to the.
The B would be better.
It's just you have to walk.
Because the RW goes by me,
Yeah, when you just go to like Atlanta, oh, but then you have to go back out.
but the B goes right to the.
Oh, so if you go to like Flatbush, it's just probably like a 10-minute walk. But it's
That's fine.
the next stop. It's Prospect Park stop. So yeah. How are you? I walked a little. It was beautiful. Oh, you too. Hey, Jacob.
Good to see you.
Me too. Oops, my phone. Just kidding with you. So I'm pretty busy. It's gonna be nice. Are you in the area?
I live in Queens, but she lives like a few blocks from us.
So do you want to kind of photo without me?
No, you're the star.
No, the tree is this side.
Good call. I like to get pictures and tell a story. Sanitized, no people.
So I have the sign for the tree. Do you want me to put it on that side?
That's great. That's
Okay.
perfect. Thank you.
Hey. Long time no see. Good.
This is so what do you mean? Thank you. You look so cute. You look exactly the same. Yeah. Need to be screaming.
Yeah. Bloody hell, you know I love you, but...
Yeah, but I think every person has a because like they do it in great too. Central Park for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
You too. You too. Thank you so much. Hi everyone, thank you so much for being here, and thank you to Prospect Park for having this be a thing at all. How this is gonna work, I think if anyone wants to get up and speak or sing, like even if you didn't tell me beforehand, that's totally fine. I'm just gonna start off by reading, I don't know who posted this, but it was something Roger wrote, and I just thought I just wanted to share it. He wrote this. It says, "Well, given the hour of this day of meditation at 4:44 a.m., that something called faith hit me smack in my heart. I am dying. I know it. I'm suffering from loss of muscle mass. That's called atrophy, which has become a common usage word in our house.
but which is truly quite terrifying when you're sensing every day that you're getting weaker and weaker and weaker. And you wake up looking at your hands and you don't recognize them because everything is no longer surrounded by flesh and muscle, and there's gaps in bones and fingers or thumbs that are out of place. That atrophy comes from a kind of ALS called upper neuron or limnar ALS. Bulbar ALS, much quicker acting, I'm told, and involving breathing and swallowing, must be even more terrifying. At any rate, this awareness of the dying, but the mystery of the good, day, bad day, surprises, come with this disease, affects the search for faith. I will finally tell you my semi-dream, and it was a simple one. In the waning hours and minutes of my passage, my loved ones were gathered around me. I had a chance to say goodbye to those present and to all those in the world who touched me with love, music, and collegial learning. I was ready to make the passage. And as I did, I didn't see a beautiful blue tunnel, as I've heard some say who had near-death experiences. I simply walked across the street, and there was Barry Blust shooting baskets and saying, "What took you so long?" So I don't know if anyone wants to get up after me to sing, or but here's the mic. I'm gonna turn the button down, and then when you come up, you just flip the switch on.
I really wanted to go last. My name's Jeff Bly. I really want to thank Thais for organizing this. It's an amazing tribute to an amazing person. My son Matt was in the high school, Great Neck North, class of 1999. I know that sounds weird with the 19 in front there. But in 1996, when he was a freshman, he got a part in a chorus line. And he came home one January and asked me if I wanted to play piano in the pit with, in the orchestra pit with Roger. And I was blown away, oh, my son wants me to do something at school with him. Of course, it took him 2 months to get me the music after that because I think he had second thoughts about it. But that's where I first met Roger, an amazing person. I did the plays with him and with Matt for 4 years. And even after Matt graduated the next year with Pippin, I was having so much fun. I stayed there with Roger and also through a lot of the stages, musicals. I got to go visit him up in Maine after he retired, before the illness started taking him down. And he's, as we all know, he's an amazing person. I have a number of pictures here if people want to sift through them. I put a big group picture in the ground with Roger so it could be with him. And that's about it. Thanks for organizing this. And I'm sure Roger would have appreciated seeing you all here today. Thank you.
Hi. Oh my God, that's like.
Sorry. Was it too loud?
No, it's all good. It's all good. Okay. It's all good. I just have to step behind it so it's not right in my face. I'm John Schneidman. For those of you who don't know me, class of 2010. First, I want to start by thanking Thais for organizing this, and Tony and Jacob and the entire Slodgy family for everything you did for Roger, and making sure we got him for as long as we did in Great Neck. So not just for this, but really for everything you did throughout his time in Great Neck. I know how appreciative he was of all that. He talked about it all the time. Something that Roger said to David and I, and a few of our friends who went to visit him in October of 2021, was replace worry with gratitude. That's something that I know became a mantra of his as the illness took over. He said, somebody else said it first, but I'm crediting it to him. And I think something that struck me was the joy with which he approached everything. Our rehearsals, when we were being total rascals in the seats, the shows, the time we spent with him in his office, everything was a gift to him. And obviously this disease was not a gift, but I know, right, I felt that what was a gift was all the people who loved him coming around him, and it was such a testament to who he was that this group of people's here, that so many people have come out and said such wonderful things about him. And that's what I think I take away from my time with Roger. The just gratitude towards life and the joy of approaching everything, even the difficult moments. And I think this is such a fitting tribute to him. That's it. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Thais, again.
There's a switch, yeah.
Okay, so I didn't learn anything in the last 20 years of singing. I also just want to thank Thais and the whole Slodgy family. This is incredible. My heart is beating really fast because I don't think we've gotten to all, or at least I haven't gotten to remember him in this way, or like mourn in any real way. But like all of us, I feel Roger was, will always be like a pillar in our lives, just like this immense presence and energy that will carry on forever. He wasn't just a musical influence. He taught us like how to be and how to appreciate life and live every day just, yeah, fully. So anyway, I'll sing a little bit of, or maybe all of, Someone to Watch Over Me. If anyone from jazz choir wants to join in any way, I sing this at a hotel most weeks. There's a saying old, says that love is blind. Still we're often told, seek and ye shall find. So I'm going to seek a certain lad I've had in mind. Looking everywhere, haven't found him yet. He's the big affair I cannot forget. Only man I ever think of with regret. I'd like to add his initial to my monogram. Tell me, where is the shepherd for this lost lamb? Is it you? There's a somebody I'm longing to see. I hope that he turns out to be someone to watch over me. I'm a little lamb who's lost in the wind. I know I could always be good to one who'll watch over me. I'm not gonna go through the whole thing. Thank you guys. Raj, we love you. We're with you always. Thank you for everything.
nothing nearly as beautiful. Hi, I'm Jordana. I wasn't planning on saying anything. I have nothing really, so sorry. Oh, I could barely even like get out the words, but thank you again, Thais. You're amazing. And the thing that I was just thinking about was how, first off, we were his family. The dedication that he had to us is nothing like any other teacher that most of us have ever encountered. He cared about us, I mean, to keep the job for sure, but also even after, the memory that just came back was that he wasn't doing well, and he posted asking us what we were up to in our lives. Do you guys remember that? And he was, I think, trying to really have his family around him in whatever capacity he could. So that to me was really special, and he cared so much. So this is really, really amazing. Thank you, Thais.
Actually, maybe I can't, so I don't know. I did the composer librettist studio with him at New Dramatists in 2018 and 2019. And 2018 was a particularly close-knit group, and often we incorporated Roger into the songs as well. And a really fun song. There's two that were really fun. One was that they wrote 4 different pieces, or 5, sorry, and so whichever stand I went to, he would have to play that music. And so it became a really fun game, or I would go to one, sing part of it, run to the next, and I had a baton made out of a snake that I would conduct him with, and it was just play, you know, the whole time, but it was also this very aleatoric music that was really silly but also beautiful, and it was one of the most fun probably things I've ever done. And then also one time he played he was my son in the song, but like and it was like this magical song, and so like I came back in time to find him, and I gave him at the end of the song this really beautiful, the composer was just a lovely a paper flower. So then when he got sick, I made him a paper flower the next year. So this isn't paper, but I brought this flower. So put it there.
Not many kids can say they had their own Sondheim at school, curled up on an office couch or microwaving a lean cuisine. Roger was a mentor and an artist that truly saw us and nurtured our expression while giving us the entire world. He only hoped for one thing in return, that we step into ourselves and find creative fulfillment as much as possible. Roger did not act seeking power or professional prestige. He sought to empower children to enjoy art. And I remember a man who cried when music was devastatingly beautiful and loved us with his whole heart, and I'll always remember Roger. I can't plug my phone in, right, for music, or are we just
I don't know how, I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Cool, we'll do. Roger chose this song for 2013's graduating class, and I love that. I love him to listen very much. I remember sky, it was blue as air, or at least I think. I remember sky, I remember snow, soft as feathers, sharp as thumbtacks, coming down like wind, and it made you squint when the wind would blow, and ice like vinyl on the streets, cold as silver, white as sheets, rain like strings and changing things like leaves. I remember leaves, green as spearmint, crisp as paper. I remember trees, bare as coat racks, spread like broken umbrellas. And parks and bridges, ponds and zoos, ruddy faces, muddy shoes, light and noise and bees and boys and days. I remember days, or at least I try. But as years go by, they're a sort of haze, and the bluest stain isn't really sun. And the times I think I would gladly die for a day of sky. Thank you. Thank you, Kate.
Hi, I wasn't planning on speaking. My late dad was Roger's librettist for Vagabonds, Roger and his musical. I met Roger at 5, which is a great time to meet Roger Ames. He was a giant boy with a beard, and I have never lost that image. Vagabonds had come out of Colette's The Vagabond, and it had started because my father was working on a dark children's cartoon show where Helen Schneider, who is a big singer in Berlin, was playing a magic witch in a mirror, and somehow this led to a musical adaptation of a Colette story about a music hall. My father had been chosen first. He was the new kid on the block, and Roger, who was about 10 years older than him and much more seasoned, was suddenly my father's new kid on the block, and the two of them hit it off deeply. I was the youngest person at Don't Tell Mama, watching Roger's girlfriend and partner at the time performing while the two of them were working on it. And I took a cassette of Roger singing songs from the musical on piano to show and tell in 2nd grade. They went to Berlin, and they felt like they had finally made it. They were living this artistic dream, drinking beers in the canteen, staying in Greta Garbo's room, and just being artists. They felt like this was finally it. I reconnected with Roger after my father died in 2017, and in true Roger fashion, he had seen my writing and felt that enough of it was similar to my dad that I should jump into Vagabonds. But the reason was he felt that it maybe wasn't right that 2 men had written a story about a woman. And he wanted to make sure that he and my father had done this story justice. And I thought that was such an interesting, humbled approach to looking at your work. He was a wonderful human being, and genuinely it was a pleasure to know him at 5 and to know him as an adult.
Hi, I'm Julie.
You just want to both stand on that side.
We graduated in 2007. It's impossible to put into words the impact that Roger has had on both of us, so we're gonna sing, maybe, if we can get it out, our favorite song from Select Singers. like a ship blown from its mooring by a wind off the sea, like a sea drop by a skybird in a distant wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you, I have been changed for good. And just to clear the air, I ask forgiveness for the things I've done you blame me for. But then I guess we know there's blame to share, and none of it seems to matter anymore. Like a comet blown from its mooring by a wind off the like sea, a stream that meets like a sea drop by a bird in the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? I do believe I have been changed for the better. And because I knew you, because I knew you, because I knew you, I have been changed for good.
Hi, I'm Zach. Like Julie said, it's really hard to put what Roger meant to me, and I imagine for all of us, into words. Spent many an early morning and many a late night with Roger in a lot of different places at a lot of different times in my life. And he was always such a guiding light. He influenced me in more ways than I can, again, even put into words. He definitely propelled me through to a career in music. He was always a champion of mine, as I was of his. And something I'll always be grateful for is he definitely continued to foster the relationship that I had with Thais, and the music making that we were able to do together. So we're gonna sing a song. Awful sweet to be a little butterfly, just winging over things and nothing deep inside, nothing going wild in you, you know. You're slowing by the riverside, or floating high and blue, or maybe cool to be a little summer wind. Like once through everything and then away again, with the taste of dust in your mouth all day, but no need to know. Like sadness, you just sail away, 'cause you know I don't do sadness, not even a little bit. I just don't need it in my life, don't want any part of it. I don't do sadness. Hey, I've done my time looking back on it all, and it blows my mind. I don't do sadness, so been there. Don't do sadness, just don't care.
Spring and summer, every other day. Blue wind gets so sad, blowing through the thick corn, through the bales of hay.
through the open books on the grass, spring and summer. Sure, when it's autumn, wind always wants to creep up and haunt you. Silence, it's got you. With its heartache, then its sorrow, winter wind sings and it cries. Spring and summer, every other day, blue wind gets so pained, blowing through the thick corn, through the bales of hay, through the open books on the grass. Spring and summer.
So maybe I should be some kind of laundry line, hang their things on me, and I will swing dry. You just wave in the sun through the afternoon and then see they've come to set you free beneath the rising moon. 'Cause you know I don't do sadness. I need a little bit, just don't need it in my life. Don't want any part of it. I don't do sadness. Hey, I've done my time looking back on it all. Man, it blows my mind. I don't do sadness, so been there. Don't do sadness, just don't care.
I just want to say my favorite thing that Roger used to say was when, as soon as he would get a piece of music, he'd say, well, let me just get this under my fingers. And I thought that was the best. And I say that to myself now when I sight read.
I can't sing right now, so I can't participate in that one.
So I'm not really sure what to say because I just have so many memories. I had something like akin to a near-death experience. And my mind was just full of chaos and fear. And in one moment, I just felt Roger's presence, and it was unmistakably him. Just the feeling of comfort and like everything's going to be okay. And it really like kind of helped bring me back to earth in a sense. I'm gonna play a song that I wrote when I was 18. That I wrote to apply for college as a composer. They said to me like, oh, you should write a song, and I had like 3 days to submit, and I had never written a song before, so I wrote a song in 3 days, and I played viola, Thais sang, and Roger played. And I remember pretty soon before he died, I sent him the recording, and he's like, wow, this is so pretty, what is this? And I'm like, Roger, we played this. He's like, oh wow, well, that's what happens with this illness, is like sometimes you lose some of your memories. So I wanted to share it with you.
Oh, okay.
If anyone else, would anyone else like to share anything before we close out? Sure.
Can everybody hear me? Yeah. That's fine too. My name's Dan. I'm sorry I was late. He probably would have seen that coming. I met Roger in 1993, so that was a while ago. Did anybody talk about his audition? When Roger was... Sure. Okay.
When Roger was first up for the job in Great Neck, they had him come in to audition with other candidates. And he auditioned in front of students. There were high school students, most of whom were still going to be there, and some who were outgoing, and then 5 or 6 of us from 8th grade who were going to be coming in. And I remember 3 candidates. It was the guy who'd written the theme song to Cheers, who had us sing that. A woman who had gotten a nose job less than 24 hours before. She would have fit in Great Neck great, but she didn't get the job because this crazy white-haired guy came into a room with a bunch of kids sitting on bleachers and sat down at the piano and then stood up and said, "All right, everybody get up and lie down on the floor." And we stared at each other, and when we lied down on the floor, and he turned off the lights and he started playing the piano and he said, "Just sing." And everyone just sort of sat there silently for a while until somebody started doing something, and then everybody started doing something. And after a few minutes, he said, "That was great, thanks." And that was the whole thing. And somehow they hired him. And it never, ever got less weird than that. At any point, not for a minute. It got a lot weirder at times. I was lucky enough to go to his summer camp the last year that he ran that. That went exactly as you would expect it to go. And in recent years, I was sorry I didn't keep in better touch with him. I'm kind of a crappy correspondent. But he knew that, and he reached out from time to time, and we sort of caught up. You know, what are you doing? How are you feeling? How are the kids? And I'm gonna miss him a lot. That's it.
Dan Ackman.
How are you, Jeff?
Yeah, push the button up, good.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Mona. I know only Thais and Camille. And I only met Roger because I did the composer librettist studio. I'm a playwright, and I was terrified in that workshop because even though I was in choirs and things like that, I didn't know any of the things that people would talk about, even like recitatif. And they would just like say these things. And Camille was actually like, "Let me just help you, give you the basics." And so just to say this, that like, I only knew Roger at that time. I didn't know that he was sick. My mother had died in 2017 from a long illness. And I was coming through a tremendous period of grief during that time. I didn't know, but something struck me, and I wanted to just share it quickly, because I remember saying, one piece of music that I did know, and I felt proud that I knew it, was Knoxville Summer of 1915. And I told Roger that, and he's like, "That was my mentor, Samuel Barber, I guess." And something occurred. I'm going to just read like 10 lines from it, because I was thinking, like, here we are today, and there's like things happening, and it's the park, and like it just is what it is, and life goes on as we know. But thank God, like, Thais had this vision of some permanence, right, in this motherfucking crazy world, right? And to honor this person. So I just want to read a couple lines because it struck me. And maybe some of you know it, right, you singers. Knoxville, Summer of 1915. The lyrics were by James Agee, I think, and then Samuel Barber put it to music. It has become that time of evening when people sit on their porches, rocking gently and talking gently, and watching the street and the standing up into their sphere of possession of the trees, of birds, hung havens, hangars, people go by, things go by, a horse drawing a buggy, breaking his hollow iron music on the asphalt, a loud auto, a quiet auto, people in pairs, not in a hurry, scuffling, switching their weight of aestival body, talking casually, the taste hovering over them of vanilla, strawberry, pasteboard, and starched milk, the image upon them of lovers and horsemen squared with clowns in hueless amber. Wow, that's a mouthful. And it just makes me think of him because here we are in this moment, and there is permanence in some weird way. So thank you guys for sharing this.
I didn't think I would be able to say anything, but I think it's been long enough. I did the Composer Libretto Studio with Roger in 2016, and I wrote this song with Jesse Dickey called The Scientist, and I remember Roger and Ben saying that it was about the absurdity and profundity of life. And they just had this way of getting straight to the point. Roger really always just got to the heart of things and found the joy and wonder in it. So if my internet cooperates, I'm going to try and play this. And I have a little picture of Ben and Roger.
It's on its last quarter. Get it? It's on its last quarter. It's on its last quarter. Neutron walks into a bar and wants a beer that's so large. The neutron gets a check and says, I hope that there is no charge. The neutron says there's no charge. Neutron hopes there's no charge. Photon gets to her hotel. The bellhop asks politely, where are your bags? The photon says, I've none. I travel lightly. You get it? The photon travels lightly. The photon travels lightly. Schrodinger gets pulled over by a cop. The cop says, did you know there's a dead cat back here? And Schrodinger says, well, I do now. Get it? Schrodinger says, well, I do now.
these bins here?
Hi. Roger would be very proud of me. I'm painfully shy. I know how to sing, not to talk. I am also representing the 20th century with Raj. I was also, my freshman year was his first year at North, and a lot of incredible, happy memories with him. I just want to read a Facebook message exchange I had with him, as I'm sure we all had various conversations throughout the years. Scroll back into mine. So it was literally, I wrote to him literally January 1st, 2020. I was on the verge of my own serious health diagnosis. And he came to me in a dream on New Year's Eve, 2019. And again, like as one of you had shared, in the spiritual realm, dream meditation space, like every now and then he's there, and it's his presence is epic and beautiful and amazing. And anyway, he was in my dream. I had to share it with him, so I wrote to him. Dearest Roger, just wanted to send you a quick note. I had a dream last night. You were there and gave me a very wise and important message. I woke up feeling so happy and calm. So thank you for the dream message and still being my #1 teacher and mentor, even after all these years. Wishing you and your family a very happy New Year. Love always, Julie. Julie, how wonderful to hear from you. Of course, I'm eager to hear what my advice was. LOL. Keep singing? That would at least be part of what I'd say to you. Still remember your beautiful voice after all these years. XOXO, Happy New Year, Raj. Haha. Your dream advice was basically, don't assume the worst. It was, of course, more profound in the dream, but was something like, just because you hear 2 notes, don't assume it's a minor chord. Hoping to do more singing this year, even if it's only to my son. Take care. Ah, the eternal optimist me. Haha. I do hope you're all right. And if you need to talk and get more encouragement, please feel free to call me. Happy New Year. I love him. I miss him every day. Love you, Raj.
Was not planning on coming back up, but I had a memory of one of the first pieces that we ever wrote with Roger in Colorado Springs. Must have been 2008, maybe 2008 or 9. And we were really close to finishing up the piece that we were writing, but there was one last song, and we were sitting in his room until maybe 2:30 a.m. And we kind of just popped this out, and it feels pretty apropos to today. So it's a really short piece.
Stratton struck gold, they said. I still hear those voices in my head. Oh, how different my life would be without this damn gold looming over me. I used to watch the birds and bees and sit and rest under beautiful trees. Now that my life is gone, my only wish to move on.
Hi, I got one more thing, Jeff Bly again here. Roger was part of an amazing program at Great Neck North High School called Stages. I don't know how many of you were in Stages. Yeah, I can see a couple. Okay. 4 amazing teachers. It was Roger Ames directing all the singing. It was Susan Baptist. She was chair of the history department. Jeff Gilden, English teacher, and Neil Sagerson, who did all the plays in the drama department. He did all the sets. And those 4 teachers were dedicated to a group of, I think, 25 to 30 students, something like that, who had 1 full year program to compose, to write, compose, score and perform an original musical at the high school at the end of the semester. And it was just an amazing program. And, you know, the caliber of the final product was variable. Would that be all good, but variable good, right? And one year, this is a Roger anecdote because this typifies Roger. One year he wrote to me sort of last minute because, as Dan said, nothing with Roger was ever planned. Can I help him out in the orchestra pit for stages that year? And it turned out I was on vacation in Europe with my wife. I was in the Czech Republic, and I said, "Sure, when is it?" And he gave me the date, and I said, "Well, I'm only getting home the night before." He says, "No worries, I'll send you some of the music." So he starts faxing me the music to the hotel where we were staying at. And, you know, every time I got a note from the front desk that there were more pages for me. And luckily there was a piano in the lobby, and I would sneak down there at night when nobody was around to pick through all this music. And I was a little worried about it, but figured, okay, it wasn't that hard. And I made a book about it. I said, "Roger, let's get together. I'm back that night. We got to talk about this." He said, "Okay." So I met him for dinner at a restaurant in Great Neck that doesn't exist anymore. That happens a lot in Great Neck. And, you know, we're talking. We had a couple of beers. It was great to see him again. We're catching up. And finally I said, "Okay, so Roger, look, I brought all the music. Can we review this?" He goes, No. It'll be fine. Just play through it." Okay. So performance night comes, and I've got the book, and we're playing through, and there was a big number, and I'm playing piano with him, and all of a sudden I'm just lost. I'm flipping the pages back and forth. Did I miss a repeat? What's going on? And my philosophy in playing in the orchestra pit is physician do no harm. You know, first do no harm. So I start playing a little lighter and just sort of following along, and the piece was over. Oh, be quiet. The piece was over, and I looked at Roger and I said, "Hey, Raj, what happened there? Measure 106. He goes, "Oh yeah, we cut that part. I forgot to tell you." And he just laughed. You know, it was just this beaming laugh. It wasn't like, "Oh crap, I forgot." It was just funny, and it just embodied what a pleasure it was to work with Roger Ames. And I'm so grateful I got to know him, and I know all of you are too. So that's it.
I'm gonna see. Ben, do you want to say something?
Ben Kravitz, who ran the composer of the British studio, I FaceTimed him so you can say hi. Hi. So I don't know, are you able to make noise, Ben, on your thing? Your volume's up. Earlier you said, "Can you hear me?" and it worked. There's 1 second, I guess. Yeah, I can. Wait, say something.
And now you can hear me okay?
Yeah.
Great. I'm so sorry I can't be there with you all. I'm actually in the middle of a Composer Liberta studio, our first in 3 years. So Roger has been on my mind a lot these past few weeks. So one of the things that Roger always said that I had given him, I think it's one of the few things I gave him that he was really clear about, was the notion that whenever he was having a difficult time, I would commiserate and just say, "Well, you know, you just do the work," and sort of rooted in the Buddhist, tradition of chopping wood and carrying water and do that which we need to do. The work needs to get done. And he said that would often get him through some of the challenges that he's facing, and that returning to creativity was a real source of joy for him. And it was kind of one of the major driving forces behind the Composer Liberta studio, which we worked on together for so many years. I did send a photo to Thais. I hope we got in time. But I'll just read my inscription on it. To my beloved friend, collaborator, mentor, teacher, student, and brother in art. I miss you so, but I am graced with the knowledge that your soul comes to life every time one of our colleagues makes music. We do the work. Thank you all for being there. I wish I could join you. Next time in New York, I will make a trek out to see the tree.
Thanks, Ben. We love you.
anyone. Everyone's okay. All right, thank you all so much for being here. It means so much to as for me, as I'm sure for all of you. You're all welcome to decorate the tree if you want. I have some zip ties, I have some extra flowers if you want something to put on if you didn't bring. And again, we love you, Roger, and thank you so much, everyone, for being here.
Thank you, Thais.
Yeah. It's a good memory.
Grab from the bag. I can put the bag closer to the... Yes! It would be such a great Christmas tree.
Did it with Theis's senior recital, yeah.
It's great.
It's like we needed him to play here. Yeah, it's a really good memory.
Yeah. Thank you for singing. That was so pretty.
Yeah. It was a little bit like a come towards the light.
Oh yeah, I know.
No. I'm trying to think of the pump. You don't want this shit. I don't want
I don't live here. I think about that person that will come check over that. You have big fucking problems. Big problems. We don't want no judge and no fucking lawyer for this shit.
You give him a nuts program, which is
so I like. I would. I don't really have much business myself, but I like it conceptually. Sure. How much distraction is going to be to teachers for all the kids who aren't specifically in the program? Discovered immediately. Yes.
Yeah. Which we all.
Remember that? I used to cat say, I mean, yeah, this was the
Smaller. Because I hate kids on.